How's it going, folks? I'm Des with DesFit, and in front of me I have the brand new generation of Garmin Varia radars with the new RVR315 as well as the new RTL515, which combines a Varia radar along with an extremely bright and pretty darn smart taillight. Now, if you aren't familiar with the Garmin Varia radar system, what these little things do is they live on the back of your bike, like on the back of your seat post, and then they'll link up to a compatible GPS recording device like an Edge 530 or a Fenix 6 or even a Garmin Venue or Forerunner 245, and basically they can detect vehicles that are coming up behind you, and then they provide visible and audible alerts. And with this new generation of Garmin Varia radars, these can actually link to your smartphone using the new Varia app, so you don't even have to have one of these devices to benefit from the safety features. So when I first heard about the Varia radar system, I was a little bit skeptical because I thought to myself, well, I can already hear vehicles that are coming up behind me, so why would I really need something like this? But I found on a lot of occasions, the radars will actually inform me of the car's presence even before I can hear them. And that's where the radar portion of these devices helps me become a more aware cyclist. But the other portion is going to help the driver be more aware of my presence. And that's where the light portions of the RTL515 come into play. And it's definitely more than just a taillight. It's actually a very smart taillight. And by the way, if any of you out there are sensitive to flashing lights, there's probably going to be a pretty good amount of flashing red lights in this video. I'm going to try to keep them to a minimum, but I thought I'd just put that out there right now, so fair warning. So with both the RVR315 and the RTL515, these just mount easily on the back of your seat post using the same style of quarter turn mount that's used on Edge bike computers, but it's just oriented differently by 90 degrees. It comes with 3 different adapters that can fit a variety of diameters, including a version for aero seat posts. The included mounts just use these rubber bands, which come in 2 different sizes, and these are just super strong, by the way. After you've got it mounted to your seat post, you're going to want to pair it with your compatible device. You'll just turn on the radar using its one single button, and then you'll go into your device settings and search for a new radar sensor. It'll pop up just like that, and then you're paired up and you have time for a pre-ride cookie. And then when it comes to the riding experience, it's integrated really nicely where it's just an overlay over your current data screens. When it's paired up, it'll have this little icon in the upper right-hand corner of your device letting you know that the radar is enabled. When a vehicle's coming up behind you, the little sidebar will turn to amber, which kind of just gives you a little bit of a warning. And then if a vehicle's coming up behind you at a really high speed, it'll actually turn to red. You'll see these little dots on the overlay that indicate the individual vehicles, and it's pretty darn accurate in being able to distinguish between them. So once the vehicle's past you and it doesn't detect any more threats, the sidebar will change to green, indicating that there isn't more upcoming traffic, and then within a few seconds the green bar disappears. What's great about this integration is that the radar functionality actually appears on every single data page that you have. And what I also found that was cool is that the radar even works before or after you start your activity. Let's say you go to start your ride on the street, it'll actually still give you alerts even before you start the activity, which is just a little bit of extra safety. Now, if you're riding in really busy areas, the radar can be a little bit annoying just because it's going to be constantly beeping at you because it's detecting cars everywhere. But where I found the radar to be really beneficial is going to be in more remote areas. So yes, those areas, it's going to be a lot quieter, so you're going to be able to hear those vehicles coming up behind you probably a little easier. However, those vehicles also could be traveling at a much faster speed. So just having that extra bit of awareness is kind of nice to have in those scenarios. So that's the radar functionality of these 2 units, which by the way is actually the same functionality that you're going to get out of the RTL510, which basically all these can detect vehicles that are approaching behind you from 153 yards away or 459 feet or 139.9 meters. However, the new RVR315 as well as the RTL515, these have Bluetooth built in. So these can actually pair up with your compatible smartphone using the Garmin Varia app. So you can actually benefit from all these safety features without having to have one of these other devices. And I think this is a really nice feature because in scenarios like commuting, you may not be recording on an Edge bike computer, but no judgment if you are. After all, if it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. But with the Varia app, it allows you to see all that information on a nice big display. It still provides all the same audible and visible alerts, including the vehicles that it's detecting, and even provides an indication of the battery life of your radar in the upper left-hand corner. And just to note, the Varia app is only going to be compatible with new generation RTL515 as well as the RVR315, and it's not going to be compatible with the older generation RTL510, just because the RTL510s and the older generation Varias only have AMP+. But setting up the app is going to be really simple. You'll just launch the app, turn on your radar, pair it up, and away you go. In regards to the settings, you can enable or disable sounds and vibrations. And then in addition, for these Varia radars to be able to pair it with the Varia app, you'll actually be able to pair these with compatible smartphone apps like Ride with GPS, so you can benefit from those safety features in situations where you're using navigation. So again, the addition of Bluetooth is going to be really nice. That it's going to expand the scenarios where you can actually use these radars. Oh, and if you're curious about how I actually mount my phone to my handlebars, a lot of people use quad lock cases, and they're awesome for sure. But since I have edge mounts like all over my bikes already, what I did was I just bought an inexpensive iPhone case as well as this adhesive quarter turn mount. And then when I want to actually have my phone on my handlebars when I ride, I just switch the case out. It's pretty easy, and I'll leave links for both of these items in the description below. And lastly, let's talk about the light features of the RTL515, and these features are actually pretty darn smart. So first off, in its most basic form, it's an extremely bright taillight that can be visible from up to a mile away. And trust me, it's definitely extremely bright because I've accidentally stared into this thing like 800 times during the filming of this video, so now I've got all these red spots like floating around my eyes. So there's going to be 4 modes that you can choose from depending on your preference or possibly even the laws that are governing bike lights where you live. The first mode is going to be a bright, constant red light. If you short press the top button while you're in this mode, it'll switch to a lower intensity constant mode. Press it again and it'll switch to a pulsing mode, which is kind of like a nice gentle pulse. One more press and it'll switch to a flashing mode, and then one more press disables the entire thing but doesn't turn off the actual unit. Short press it one more time and it cycles back to the bright constant mode. Okay, sure, that's what a lot of taillights can do, but where it gets smart is how it integrates with the radar functionality and adds an extra layer of safety. When the RTL515 detects a car approaching, the light actually changes to an alert mode to alert the driver, which adds an extra layer of visibility. And this works in any of those 4 modes I just mentioned. So if it's constant, it'll go to a flashing, and then if it's already in a flashing mode, it just kind of goes into a disco fever mode. And what's also nice is that the light isn't just directed at the back, it's actually visible from the sides as well. In regards to battery life, the RVR315 will be able to last up to 7 hours, and then the RTL515 will be able to get up to 6 hours in the night flash or solid mode. Both of these are going to charge via micro USB and comes with an included charging cable. And then lastly, these are all going to be IPX7 water resistant, so you won't have to worry about getting caught in the rain or anything like that. And in fact, I take mine off and just rinse it off in the sink since they can get a little bit dirty being mounted on the back of your seat post. So are these going to be a replacement for your ears and your eyes? No, absolutely not. You still need to be completely aware of your surroundings, but with vehicles getting quieter and quieter, like with electric vehicles, I can see these being really beneficial. And then with the RTL515, it kind of just takes it up a notch by adding the extra layer of peace of mind where it'll be able to alert others of your presence while on the road. Anyhow, if this video did help you out at all, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for plenty more sports tech videos that are coming soon. In the meantime, have fun, stay safe out there, and happy riding.